who was Dawn growing up? Like we had that story when you had that neighbor over the fence and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, what were the moments? What were some of the key moments in your life that, before turning into who you are now? What were some of the key moments that influenced that metamorphosis for you?
Yeah. There's definitely some key moments. And I have to say, like, one day that sticks out as one of the best days, like, especially of my like younger years growing up. We had like a little like talent show, like I guess it was a talent show. Like we used to have this thing where it was like called like a church conference, like a church like getaway,
Yeah, yeah.
and a bunch of different
Church
people.
retreat.
Yeah,
Okay,
it was like
gotcha.
one of,
Yeah.
yeah, it's something like that. And they would have like a little talent show at the end, just everyone could like show what they were doing. And mind you, up until this point, like for a lot of my life too, like up until recently, I would say, I was definitely more on the shy side. I definitely wasn't like once I got to know people, yeah, but like I wasn't like super outgoing. And music has changed a lot of that for me, and that leads into this story because I had a I had a song I was working on called "The Pledge of Allegiance," and it was kind of like, "Oh, the Pledge of Allegiance, I cannot say, so I do not obey," which was funny for me because I was English and I didn't know the Pledge of Allegiance, and like, I couldn't say it, so like all these other people like, "Oh yeah, Pledge of Allegiance," da, 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 da. I'm like, I don't know,
Yeah.
so I made a rap about it,
Yeah.
and I performed it at our like church talent show, and this is my first time ever performing. I never had performed any works that I had done. No one even knew that I like could rap,
Oh
or
wow.
like yeah, no
This is
one.
like a total surprise to
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah, and this is actually before that summer, which is funny enough because I remember I was 12 at the time when this happened. So this was like in between, yeah, the first period and now. Um, but it was funny. Yeah, there was one guy. I was like, hey, can you just like play like he was a drummer. I was like, can you just play like a drum track in the background and I'm gonna rap. And he was like, you're gonna rap? I'm like, yeah. And still to this day, like one of the most incredible moments because like I got up there and I was like, oh yeah, so I'm gonna do a rap song. And as soon as I said that, everyone was like, the whole room exploded.
Yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
was like, "What?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
what?" And I did it, and then everyone was like, "Encore, encore," And then for like the whole like next like the rest of the church retreat, and even for like a few months after, everyone would come up to me and be like, "It's the Pledge of Allegiance," like, and I honestly from that moment, that's when I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be a rapper."
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
That's awesome, bro. No, it's so funny that you say you used to be shy and not as outgoing. That seems to be a very common. I've done 3 of these interviews or conversations so far. You're the 4th, and that seems to be a very common occurrence that happens. There is a point as a child that you grow up, you know, sorry, you grow up as a child, thinking that you are this person, and you're not really looking ahead. But all of a sudden, there's a situation or a moment in time where, you know, there's something that has to that initiates something different to come out of you. Like you have to be something different in order to
Yeah.
match the situation that you're currently in.
True.
And in that moment, there's like a choice. And between all of, I mean, out of all the guests, I mean, everybody chooses the same one, which is like, okay, I'm going to go against what I believe about myself about, oh, I'm not that outgoing, but I'm going to be outgoing this time. And then they realize that, oh, I've been outgoing this whole entire time. There's like a strength to being out there, putting yourself out there. So I find that very interesting.